You know, if Twitch would do its job, that would be grand. Hang on. It's being weird. The one day recently where I don't do the starting soon, everything breaks. Course. Well, not everything. Mostly just the Twitch dashboard being a wonderful webpage. Anyway, this is Drill Core, a nice little simulation game, I suppose you could call it, where you're running a mining crew down to the core of a planet. Debatably to save the planet based on the little ad it runs at the beginning of the game, where they say they will deploy equipment to make your planet not terrible. But I don't know if I believe that. I already set all my settings, everything's in good order. You'll notice I have some of this currency down here. That's because I did do a test to make sure this was something I was interested enough in playing. Now, slight change in how we're doing this time compared to last time. Last time I had a hard limit of a half hour per demo because we had a lot of demos to get. Technically, I do still have a decent amount of demos to get through, but I have no intention of hard limiting the times on them this time, aside from probably gonna aim for like an hour each this time and see how that feels. Because a lot of these are slower paced. Or at the very least, more significant demos than the other ones were. So it was kind of more important that they don't, you know, it's kind of more important that these get their time in the sun. Which, if I had realized I was going to do a day like this, probably would have saved Grandveer for this day, because a half hour I don't think did that game proper justice. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get on target, shall we? As you can see, we've only got the one difficulty, the one planet, all of that. As you can see, our objective here is to correct this planet's magnetic field, Gritara. We don't get to look at the galaxy or anything. Tiny, thank you for the resub. 1 month past a year now. God damn. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah. Let's get this crew on the go, shall we? Deploy the drill machine. We got a planet to tunnel through. Now this platform is our primary function here. If I didn't have it paused, you'd be seeing a bunch of build icons. I have it paused because each day there is a finite amount of time. So I'm just gonna quickly cover things before we get rolling. Every so often, once you have enough coal, you'll be able to send the drill further down, gain access to a new area to dig through. At the start of it, you have to dig down with the drill because there's nothing for your miners to dig. Miners will do exactly what they say on the tin. These little blue guys here will go pick up the things that the miners dig up, and the guards are there to keep them from getting killed, because these planets are hostile. Basically, you'll be given a set of buildings that you'll be gaining randomly as you pick up technology down in the planet, and that's the basic idea here. Let's get this drill rolling. Alright, let's start by getting a barracks down so we have more capacity to have dudes, and summon more dudes, get a factory going. You idiots start digging. See what we see down here. They're all gonna just automatically do their thing now that I've gotten the ball rolling. I'm gonna hire on another driller. The more the more barracks you have, rather, the faster they will hire and the more of them you can have, but we're not in any rush at the minute. Take note of the fact that there are build markers up here. That's because you can build towers, and you're going to need to. Because every night, monsters come down from the top of the tunnel to come fuck your shit up, and you kind of need to avoid that. This is, of course, this resource up here. That's coal that you use to dig deeper. And this factory here was important because it gets us more metal to keep making more things with. For example, hiring on another carrier, because one carrier is not going to be enough for this. This is going to take forever with just one guy carrying. We also want a lab, because the lab will make our guys better. Based on how many labs you have, you unlock a set of upgrades. These towers can also be upgraded for similar amounts of currency, but we'll worry about that later. Right now, that'll be good enough for our first night. See, that means a monster's gonna come out of there. We can dig that out and encourage that situation to just get over with. Because if you break the block before the monster comes out, the monster ceases to exist. You'll notice, though, they won't automatically dig. You have to direct them when and where to dig, otherwise they just kind of sit around like a bunch of lumps. And that's the monster. Well, a monster, anyway. You'll notice our guard did not fare that well against him. Malone. Okay, kids. Everybody up top. You gotta call them back, otherwise, when night falls, bad things are gonna happen down here. Bad things also happen up here, but we'll watch that as it unfolds. We'll see here in a second. I am gonna hire a second guard and make my guards stronger. Because these things come down from up top every night. In greater numbers and greater strength every single night. And you have to make sure to have a turret on either side because none of these turrets reach all the way across. So invariably you'll have one or two enemies just kind of hanging out on one edge, breaking your stuff, and it's just upsetting. We're gonna take some damage here because my heavy gun here just doesn't fire fast enough. You might be wondering, well, why not put down 2 machine guns? The first one of each are free. Afterwards it costs. I'd rather use the 2 freebies and just take slight damage. The night automatically ends once you're out of enemies. We want them to prioritize breaking that. Because that, I believe, is where the enemies are coming from for down here. The entire night, by the way, there's a giant worm that goes through this whole mining area here. Which is why you don't mine at night. You will have everyone die. It's unfortunate. Let's get a second barracks going so I can get more dudes. Because the more dudes we have, the faster it goes. Yeah, exactly. It's just bad news bears across the board there. You can only queue up one recruitment at a time, otherwise I would have just queued them all up straight away. The great part about the factory, by the way, is while I'm down here watching what they're doing, the prompt for it will pop up just at the top edge of the screen, so I can click it without having to scroll up there. So I can keep claiming my material without having to scroll up. So I can keep an eye on what's happening down here, and make sure they keep doing their job. There is also a speed up. As you can see, it makes them go decently quicker. But as you might imagine, the daytime goes quicker too. And things like that can happen without you being able to really manage it. For right now, let's make everybody a little faster. I was debating a little healthier, but the only guy who's really taken any damage is in such bad shape that he's doomed if anything goes wrong. So I'm just not gonna worry about him. His life is meaningless to me now. Hey, could you guys, prioritize breaking the thing that's about to spawn Satan? That'd be great. And you were too slow. Good job, guys. Way to go. Proud of you. This is why you get eaten by aliens. We want that. That's technology. Technology is obviously something very good. The problem is, I don't know if they're gonna manage to get it back before nightfall because our haulers are in the wrong places. So, nope, recall. Get out of there. If you have them retreat, they'll drop the thing they're carrying anyway, so worrying about that's pointless. Let's make this turret shoot a bit faster because it's the one with longer range, and it takes forever to fire right now. There's your giant worm, by the way. Up here's your core's health. If this runs out, the core explodes and everybody dies. So, you know, as you might imagine, a little bit of a problem. Not ideal. Don't let the core blow up. The core also explodes if you quit it part way. Quitting part way is how I got the resources I do have, because I didn't bother to finish a run because I didn't want to sit here and play it for too long without all of you along for the ride. This gold stuff is the meta currency that you saw that I had. I don't remember what it's called already, but it's a thing. There we go, there's our first piece of technology. It unlocks one building at random. Well, I should say a couple choices at random. Like we could get a shotgun turret that we could put up on the walls up there, or in this case, a worker booster. Or re-roll it and hope for the best. I don't particularly care for either of these, so re-roll that. Drone station, rocket, turret, or shotgun. Rocket, please! As if I would pick anything other than the rocket turret. Come on, game. Let's go ahead and get another carrier because we're having an issue where they're not managing to keep things moving. Because even without the digging upgrade, these guys are digging pretty fast. Mostly because I'm keeping on top of directing them to keep digging. See if they can get over there to stop that from happening. Sadly, you don't seem to be able to direct the guards straight off. Otherwise, I'd be sending them to deal with the problem. The machine gun is not actually a tower, as far as I'm aware. It's actually a building that goes up on the floors here and can be activated to defend the base. Go ahead and give me grenades. Never have too much explosion. Yep, out comes the monster, and that guy's probably gonna... one of his friends got in the way, so good job. You actually saved your buddy there. Your hard work is appreciated. See if you can get on that one quick enough. Can I afford any of the turrets? I can. 16 block radius, 9 block radius, 17. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the rocket tower over here then, because it'll help cover this side and help the long range gun out a little bit. And you might be thinking, well, Drac, why are you bothering to protect more up there now? You weren't having any problems. I'm going to be having problems. Just trust me on this one. These knights do get progressively more dangerous. Okay, looks like the guards are gonna come back down just in time to deal with this, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. So I'm trying to get them through more work before the night comes. It's not quite night yet. Don't freak out. Keep digging just a little bit longer. Now bail out. Out, out, out. Because they move quite fast, so we can get them out of there pretty easily. We'll go ahead and get the increased mining speed. I could have upgraded one of the towers, but 3 towers should be good enough to handle this, especially with the speed upgrade on the heavy gun. And this is why I bought a better or additional turret, because the big boys are here. Night 3 gets a little spooky. The fun tower I had gotten in my test run was a firework tower that just sets an area on fire for a few seconds. But the rocket seems to be about as effective. Though I do find it very funny that the rocket just kind of drunkenly flies towards its target and kind of just gets there if it feels like it.
Morning has arrived. Resume your
Back to work, kids.
If there's one down there, I'll find it.
We can go and speed this up. Because honestly, it doesn't matter if they die. I can replace them. I would rather they didn't die because it's expensive to replace them. But, you know, if they die, they die. Explosive catalyzer, which makes the attack rate of all explosive towers go up, or the worker booster again. The problem is, I don't really feel like I have a ton of room with how I'm planning to set this up to have the explosive catalyzer. But this only boosts workers in a radius. I'm gonna take the catalyzer. If I manage to fit it in, great. If not, that's okay too. Let's go ahead and put in a second factory to speed this up. You'll notice you can't have it producing two different things or even two things at once. Well, those guys were not in a good spot. They got massacred this time. I only ever anticipated losing one at a time, and I'm probably about to lose... No, I didn't lose that guard. Okay, good. But, as you can see, endlessly replaceable. Not really a whole big deal. I see what you've done, Tiny. I see this. It's also certainly not the first time I've said that phrase. Oh, speaking of, if they die, they die. Get out of there, stupids. Because I may not care if they live or die, but I don't want them getting mauled by a worm. That'd be the opposite of effective. And all it takes is like a second of distraction, and that worm's gonna rinse a bunch of people. And that's why you don't recklessly use speed up as well. Because it's very easy for that to get out of hand. Now you'll notice we do have enough to drill, and we're gonna go ahead and set the drill to go. It'll drill us down in the next morning, because I want to grab what's left here. I don't have enough metal to hire another dude. With the distances they end up having to travel, I might actually have more haulers than I have drillers. I can never really decide one way or the other on that one. Get that out before the thing spawns. There we go. Drill that out. Let's see. Weakening laser or drone station. Take the drone station, though I'm probably never going to use it. There we go. Now you might be wondering, how do you use all of these buildings when you have so little space? There's a situation that'll work that out in a moment. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right now, I don't quite have the resources to do it how I... Actually, no, I do have what I need now. Do I want a drone spawner? I mean, I could jam the explosive catalyzer in, because I don't Well, no, I do need to keep hiring more dudes, so we'll just get a third barracks there. After all, the more dudes I have, the more I can let them die and not need to think about it. Gonna direct them to dig over here just so they get away from where that's gonna spawn. And that's exactly why I was trying to guide them away from where that was going to spawn, but they were stupid, and this is why they're not alive anymore. What a shame, the dumb have died. But you'll notice we can now build a second floor. We have to pay for it individually on each side, but that's how that works. Oh, there's so much metal there that we're gonna end up leaving behind. And they didn't quite make it with the red thing because I was a little hasty with the retreat button. Oh well, that's just gonna have to be fine. Replace the guy who died. I probably should have upgraded my defenses more, but I'm confident the rocket will do the job. We may take some core damage, but it won't really be a big deal. Well, for the most part. Now, what I find interesting is the factories also seem to shut down at night, which is weird considering they were just running automatically. Why do they shut down at night? It's a little weird. Like, game mechanic wise, it makes sense because it's probably so it doesn't distract you while you're trying to do your thing of defending the base. But it's just interesting. And down we go. Unfortunately, we destroyed a handful of things on our way down, because I arguably should have waited longer before digging down, but it's fine. It's not really a big deal. You'll notice it's now starting to cost us more to hire dudes now that we've got a lot of them. And the other thing is, we now have more turret space above us because the shaft is now longer. What's interesting is the turrets we had came down with us. This needs to go, like, right now. It's not facing a bad direction, but it still needs to not be there. Because what that does is in the direction you see the orange, it spews fire, which will set your guys on fire, and they will die. Like, there might be a way to put them out, but I couldn't figure it out at the time. So I just watched a man run off screaming until he disappeared. So it was a whole thing. Let's get a gun set up here. Sure. Let's make use of the grenade launcher, shall we? See how that works out. Takes care of that. That's still burning off that way, so I don't need to worry about that at the moment. But this is why I picked this as the starting game. Nice chill thing while we make sure everything's set up proper. People can filter in and all that. Energy catalyzer. There we go. There's a winner. Send a drill drone out. But launching rockets, though. Nah, we've already got rocket launchers. Just for that. Of course, the no health guard's the one doing his job properly. That's why he's nearly dead, is because he's doing his damn job.
The night is upon us.
Everybody up.
We need everyone.
We could have been more efficient today, but it's fine. Just everybody up top. do have multiple explosive towers, so you know, let's go ahead and get the explosive catalyzer, even though I said I'm not sure if I was going to be able to fit it in. Let's see how this plays out. Okay. Oh, that's how the grenades out of that work. Okay, I should have built a grenade launcher sooner. I like this. It just starts raining hell upon everything below it. Fuck yeah, blow everything up. Yeah. Now, the unfortunate thing on the tower side is all towers seem to get is just shooting speed upgrades. Which, don't get me wrong, are meaningful upgrades, but I would have loved for there to be more unique upgrades to them, you know? And maybe in the full game, maybe there will be. Just right now, all they do is shoot faster and faster. Which is still fun in its own right. Watching one of these towers go ape would probably be hilarious.
Morning call. Return to the mines.
Digging duty, here I come.
Go ahead and clear that out before any surprises happen. And if you're wondering why I'm not just marking the entire place, you do have a finite amount of marks you can place. Okay, max orders. Otherwise, I literally would probably just square off the entire down zone area here. How much does it cost for the drone? Okay. I was about to switch the factory over to producing red, but we found the one red I need for the drills, so I'm not going to worry about it. In fact, we found another one too. Hey, quit slacking. I'm gonna fire you. I know he doesn't actually have something to do, but I'm yelling at him anyway. There goes the nearly dead guard who was doing his job. Thankfully, him dying is actually positive overall because it made hiring his replacement cheaper. Because we went back under the threshold. Because remember, sometimes it's cheaper to watch somebody die than it is to save them. Things that are really bad advice in any context other than something like this. Hey, the firework turret. Or I could make my turrets temporarily shoot faster. I love my firework turrets, so give me that. We'll go ahead and put that boy up here since we have the explosive upgrade as well. This will be great. Guards, do your job, please. Drillers, solve that problem before the guards need to solve it. The next time we have 4, I will go ahead and build the second floor over here so the factory becomes more useful. Everybody go home. This way y'all get to see how the firework launcher works. See, it just makes an area of explosions for a little while. It's not the most resoundingly effective weapon, but it's fun. It is very good at weakening enemies for everything else to kill easier, though. Which is great in conjunction with things like the machine gun turret that doesn't do a ton of instant damage. But it looks like our turret setup is doing pretty well. It's got things pretty well handled. They're getting further along, but the addition of the firework turret seems to be just enough to keep them from getting through. Because it's trimming the health down before they get to the main gun line.
Tech is here. Workers, return
There goes the worm. Worm's clocking out for the day. Prioritize getting to that so it doesn't keep spawning more dudes. Go ahead and build the second floor. A bunch of this side's second floor is probably going to be factories, and then probably the second lab as well. Because the more factories I have, the faster I can produce more and more material without having to dig it up. Don't get me wrong, our whole shtick is digging things up, but it's beneficial to speed that along. Apparently this is a very quotable day. Okay, yeah, I can afford the lab already, so let's go ahead and put that in. It doesn't have to be adjacent or anything, I just do this because it's easier on my eyes. And I can tell what I have at a glance. But now that we have 2 labs, now we have this set of upgrades, which is just the same upgrades but 50% instead of 25%. They really all are the same upgrades, just stronger. In case people are like, oh, there must be a better, more interesting upgrade down the line, right? Sadly, not really. Your in-run upgrades are a little bland. Now, you might notice that I said in-run upgrades instead of upgrades at all. That's because there are meta progression upgrades, because remember, there is meta currency. And we'll be getting into that at once this is done, for good or ill. So since we only have to go 50 more meters, we should be okay. I just need to remain somewhat attentive. Crazy concept for me, I know, remaining attentive. Wait for them to drop their loads. Okay, get on out of there, kids. There we go. Upgrade the fireworks. Arguably, I should have upgraded the grenade launcher, but I feel like the fireworks are a little bit more guaranteed. Because the grenade launcher, as you see there, sometimes just has a lot of its shells miss. Whereas this will continuously deal damage. Oh, look at this guy moving to the sides. Cheeky bastard. This is what gets you set on fire. He's moving like a damn screensaver. Just bouncing off the walls. We're still holding pretty well, though. 1 or 2 of them might get to attack the core. But I don't think they'll get to attack much. And then randomly the grenades just fall from the sky again. Yep, there he goes. He actually got a hit off. No. The car has been damaged. What a shame. And you might be wondering why the guards are just sitting here doing fuck all during the night. The first meta progression upgrade actually allows them to fight at night and help. But you gotta get that first meta progression upgrade in order to have that. Sure, get me another driller. I was torn between getting our 4th guard or our 5th driller. Ooh. Scanning for resources seems quite nice. Auto turret, also pretty good. We'll grab the scanner, though. That seems like it'll actually be super useful. Still never made the drill drone either, because I'm just like, I got plenty of drillers, so I don't actually need it that badly. They're no more or less expendable than a robot anyway. See, now I have the opportunity to get the mini drill. Yeah, you know what? It'll be more efficient. Get him, little buddy. That is actually resoundingly effective. Yeah, exactly. No, they're not paid enough to work day and night. They barely work during the day. They just kind of hang out, and then if something's near them, they'll shoot at it. But how you been, though? We'll go ahead and dig these out so nobody gets cooked. I mean, I paid 8 material to get them. Whether they get paid past that is not my responsibility. That's up to payroll to figure out. I'm just directing. I don't think I need to upgrade that right now. Don't have enough for... There we go, now I have enough. Now I don't have red. So far so good. Did not have the best night last night, so today's session's gonna probably be a little bit shorter than Monday's.
Magic's falling, team.
Everybody home. Everybody out of here.
Retreat to the platform now.
Let's see. I can't get a factory because I don't have any red. Go ahead and flip you to doing red since we got a lot of blue now. And I can't get an upgrade for any of these because I don't have red as well. Need red for that too, so we're just gonna have to sit on that idea for the minute. Since we didn't make our defenses any better, I am a little concerned that we are going to take significant damage, but I don't think it'll be significant. I think it'll just be we will take some damage again. I definitely need to be moving this whole business along a little quicker, though. Shareholders won't be happy with this taking this long. And no amount of telling them, hey, we're being attacked by vicious aliens constantly, so it's going to take more time, is going to make them listen. Yeah, you know. That's not for living in, that's just for magically appearing from. Go ahead and send the drill bot to rip that and through and see if there's something behind there. Yeah, we still didn't bring any of that red up yet, so we can't do the thing. Go ahead and take the laser turret. As fun as the exploder sounds, I probably wouldn't use it because I have to replace it if it explodes. And I'm already spending entirely too much replacing these people when they explode. Speaking of, let's hire our extra guard. Upgrade our factory lines. Yeah, it doesn't make the cooldown any better on the mini drill, it just makes it dig further. Not gonna worry about that then. Instead, I'm going to upgrade the shooting on the grenade launcher. And that should help deal with our nighttime problems a little bit, perhaps. This guy is why we hired the extra guard, by the way. those little red spots always have elites guarding them, more or less. Go ahead and switch that over to generating iron again. Or whatever the blue stuff is. Probably something like cobalt or something. Though it really does look like iron. I wouldn't quite call this an idle game, but it's definitely a management game rather than anything else. So if that's not your cup of tea, this won't do anything for you. We do have the explosive upgrade, so mortar probably is a winning choice. You're not quite charged, huh? Okay. There it goes. Send it through this, because this thing here is what's generating the shield. That's upsetting me. There we go. Just get rid of that so it doesn't delay them digging any further. Everybody head on home.
Retreat to the platform.
Let's get another turret up here. Specifically, let's give that mortar a shot, shall we? Keep the turret variety going. Variety is the spice of life, and nothing's spicier than high explosives. Okay, the mortar's doing a pretty good job. Certainly not blowing my mind, but it's certainly doing a number on them. What's funny though, now that you mention the fact they don't get in the barracks at all, they don't get attacked. They just kind of stand there and the aliens ignore them. They somehow know that the core is the important thing. Rather than, you know, some of the aliens like doing strafing runs across the people and things like that. No, they just all pure focus the core and think of nothing else.
Morning has arrived. Resume your duties.
That's right, everybody back to work. Don't mind the worm, he's fine.
Down and dirty.
What part of back to work didn't you get? I know there's nothing for you to grab, but go hover down there so you're ready to pick it up when it is ready. I don't feel like it's asking too much for you to be ready to do your job. The rate these tunnels are going further and further, I probably should increase worker speed. That'll probably be our next upgrade. I need 5. I keep thinking it's 4. You know what? I can relate. If they're trying to kill us because we're interfering with them sleeping, I might just let them win at that rate. Because that is so fair. Is we still have work happening out on the road because of the gas company, and it keeps waking me up at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning when I already don't sleep particularly much to begin with. The extra cutting there is just not ideal. There we go. The further speed boost is definitely making this a lot more viable. Destroy that before the monster comes out of it. No, I see that. That's not allowed. It came from over here, though, so there's definitely a spawner somewhere that way. That is a good point, yeah. You would think that if they don't sleep, they should find something to do during the night. But they don't. They just kind of hang out.
Night is falling, team.
Everybody go home.
All units retreat.
Also, why can't they move as fast as they do when they're retreating, when they're doing their job? That's a whole other question. They suddenly really start moving once they need to run home. Yeah, you know what? Sure. The boosted damage of the laser should be good, but down there. Wow, that's got some range to it, too. I didn't even consider how far it reaches. That's gonna do a real good job of picking things off for me. Because there's a lot of them coming. Yeah, those get very scalingly expensive. That's what I figured. Yeah, I think we're okay. Yeah, because they're not getting past this line anymore now that we added the laser. Yeah, there's no more coming, so we're good. Everything is fine.
Resume your duties.
Back to work, you lazy scrubs. Have the drill take care of that so nobody gets randomly cooked. And that's the last coal we need right there, too. I just need somebody to bring that home. And I think we pretty well tapped this area out, other than if there's something up here. Probably should get another barracks up and going as well. The hell? Oh, you guys are going over there. Their prioritization can be a bit wacky at times, I'm noticing. Like, it almost seems like they prioritize what the last order given was, instead of what you would think would be the priority of whatever you tell them is priority, or whatever they were currently doing. Take note of these blocks that form, by the way, these like web blocks. They're kind of upsetting. They just keep expanding automatically, as far as I can tell. Which it'll be fine because we're leaving this section that it's expanding right now, but I do want to know what's behind it. So, see if you guys can get to that before the night's over. I didn't say you were done digging that way, kids. Keep going. See, there was iron in there. You were gonna miss that.
If there's one down there, I'll find it.
See if we can rip these out and see if there's anything behind them right quick. I don't think there's gonna be enough time. Yeah, because the more of them there are, the faster they expand. Alright, we're gonna have to forego that iron because they're not gonna make it in time. This is why I wanted them to dig it out faster, but no, they wanted to piddle about. Yeah, get another carrier. I feel like having one less carrier than driller is a consistent good idea, but it is probably just as well to have the same amount or more carriers than there are drillers. 4 guards seem to be doing fine so far, because I'm not being too greedy. With how big the area dug out is starting to get, you probably could get away with having people work through the night because the worm only hits so much territory. But I'm willing to bet if they run into the side of the worm like an idiot, they die too, which is why I'm not risking it. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and get the drill moving. I almost forgot to do that, and we would have been piddling about in here for no good reason for another day. And as you can see, wasting time doesn't seem like a good idea, because it's starting to get a little spicy up here. And spicier than the amount of explosives already makes it. Let's see if we missed anything significant. We missed a little bit of iron in another red spot. You've reached the target depth. Hold G to launch the core and evacuate your workers and resources. We win. Just about in time for the hour or timer too. I thought we were actually gonna have to clear the area and then launch it. Turns out no, you can just go. Arguably, if I wanted more resources, I probably could have scoured through that area, but since we're almost at an hour, it makes sense to just fire that off and see what we can spend the resources on. We fixed the planet! Hooray! Full evacuation bonus, difficulty bonus, contract reward. We got some pretty good payout there. And everybody got out alive, other than the handful of guys that got shot by aliens. Yeah, apparently we just leave those down there. There we go, guards can fight at night. Ooh, there we go. There's where the more interesting upgrades live. Okay. You can set priority for ore carriers, priority for targets for turrets. There you go, patrol point for guards. That's what I really would have wanted. And we might have like had a remote detonate for those buildings or something. You know, maybe they just explode when we leave. See, I like this. I like that there's a handful of features you gain through your meta progression. And some extra buildings and things like that. Now, nothing too crazy, but things that are nice to have. So that was Drill Core. Pretty good. I don't know if I'll be going out of my way to pick it up. I do like that there's going to be bosses, and of course the whole galactic map and everything in the full version. So for those interested, as usual, exclamation NextFest, like I just did there, will get you the store page if you wish to wishlist the game. Now we'll be taking a pretty significant genre shift here. And actually, I'm gonna run a quick 1-minute ad while I get the commands set up. That would have been the smart thing for me to be doing last time, but you know, I'm still working out how I want to do this whole setup, so it's a thing. And those of you that are subscribed are gonna be hearing me ramble about that while I'm doing this. So, you know, enjoy that, I guess, question mark? As well as the soothing sounds of clack, 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 clack on the keyboard. Theoretically, I have the game's audio balanced, so we shouldn't have any issues when I boot this, but if it blows your ears out, just scream at me and we'll do the best we can. That's basically where we're at right now.